Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. What I'm sharing today is very personal. No one has ever heard of this, not my friends, not my parents. Because of that, you are a part of a select few who will know this about me. So, what is all this secrecy about, you might ask? First, I have to tell you that I am a hyper rational person and I'm an atheist. That should be the foundation. But this is a story about religion, gods, and superstition. It is crazy, right? I never believed that one day I would be talking about superstition. As I was thinking about how to convey this topic, something triggered. We can set this topic up with anime. Anime explains this perfectly. In shows like Chainsaw Man or Jujutsu Kaisen, where there are demons or curses, you make a pact with them. This pact allows you to utilize the power of the demons, but in return, you need to sacrifice something. It can be eyes, it can be arms, legs, or something else, or someone else. There must be a sacrifice. The more you sacrifice, the more power you can use. This is directly related to my first sin. When I was young, I was more into gods and religion, and at that dumb age, I made a pact with the gods. The terms were this: if I am offered intelligence and power, I would sacrifice relationships, specifically romantic relationships. I did not just do it once, I did it again and again, unconsciously. Now, call it a superstition or a self fulfilling prophecy, but things happened exactly as the terms of the pact dictated. My scores went up. I was an average kid at the time, and I went straight to being among the toppers. It was also the rise of my consciousness. The cycle repeated, and I gained more intelligence, more power, and more confidence. But with that came the sacrifice. I have basically been single all my life, with no official relationships. I loved people, and the more I sacrificed for their pact, the more I lost them. For quite some time, I blamed myself. I thought there was something wrong with me, that I must improve myself to be capable of this woman. But deep down, I knew that for the sake of those grades and power, at each point I had sacrificed those relationships. This pact with gods, the universe, reality, or consciousness, whatever you want to call it, has proven to be the most satisfying and the most damaging thing in my life. Now let's move to the second sin. For this, I have to tell you a story. I have been building my skills since childhood to become a DJ. When I ultimately landed my first gig, it was a New Year's event. I was playing tracks I did not want to play, but I figured it was my first gig and things would only go upwards from there. But there were a couple of things. I was so young, I had a lot of ego, and I mean a lot. I had a false expectation because I grew up learning DJing from international gurus. We ended the gig successfully and packed up our stuff. I was so young that my parents had actually come to pick me up. The organizer who had booked me stopped me and said, "Here's your money for today's gig." I said thank you and we headed home. After I reached home, I opened the envelope. It had 1,000 rupees. This is a lot for a kid, by the way, but my expectation was 10,000 rupees. So I fought with the person who booked me. He told me, "You don't know the value of this money." In the hindsight, he was right. I had no gratitude for the money, no matter how small it was. In Indian religion, that means you did not appreciate Lakshmi, the goddess of money, wealth, and prosperity. All I had done was anger the gods with my attitude towards that money. Guess what happened next? To this day, as I record this, I have not earned a single rupee from DJing. I did some money with music production in terms of royalties, but nothing significant. I was basically cursed from that day onwards. What followed was even worse. I had to go through a massive amount of money problems. It is only recently that I was able to turn the situation around by making amends with the gods. It was basically another pact, money for the sacrifice of relationships. But there were other things as well. It is said Lakshmi blesses you if you are disciplined with the money and manage your finances properly. That is exactly what happened. Because of the money related trauma I had previously, I now take good care of it. I've taken care of all the Finance 101 stuff and I'm super proud of it. But I have to say, no matter how much money I spend, I have a lot left over. It is always like, maybe I spent a lot. But then when I see my digital wallets, there is always more money. This again falls into the category of superstition or a self fulfilling prophecy. You can call it whatever you like. You see, the pact we make at an early age can turn out to be extremely powerful, especially if they are made unconsciously. You might end up sacrificing something that you did not realize was of value or something that would eventually be the most valuable thing. If we look past the superstition, it simply means you are making up your mind about something and sacrificing a part of your life to achieve it. We say it lock, getting locked in. But in that pursuit, you do not realize what you lost or what you are losing. I look back now, and these two sins are reminded to me regularly because they have been so impactful in shaping my life. Deep down, they hurt a lot, but they have also taught me to be more grateful and show gratitude whenever I receive something, no matter how big or how small it is. I don't know how to conclude this, as always, but I hope you got to know something very personal about me. The reason I wanted to share this was to showcase how negative self talk hampers your progress. If you look at it, this is nothing but negative self talk, and that eventually becomes reality. I'm very mindful these days of the quality and the type of thoughts I have. I want to ensure that I am not engaging in that negative self talk or making any more unconscious pacts. Thank you for listening. I will see you in the next one.